Hello everyone, my name's Dava Hummel and today I'm going to be talking about a short story written by Sherwood Anderson called The New Englander. Sherwood Anderson was an American writer born in 1876 from Camden, Ohio, who focused on mainly writing short stories and poems. In the story The New Englander, it was about a young woman named Elsie who had lived in a farm in Vermont with her parents, mother and father, and she had two brothers that did not live with her, one of which had passed away, and her other brother Tom, who was still alive. Elsie spent most of her life alone, which often sent her into a deep thought. Although she enjoyed being alone, she always wondered what it would be like to explore the land at their new house they moved to in the West. When she did get the courage to go in the cornfields, she was always frightened of it. She would frequently hear voices of her cousin who had passed away and voices of children. She seemed trapped in her own personality. She wanted a new life and felt like she would find it somewhere within the cornfields. Being there eventually made her feel free and without pain. She did not communicate very well with her family members, and in the end she remained in the field as her parents called out to her as the storm came in. She did not answer back and ended up breaking down in tears. In comparison to this story, a similar story that we have read in class called Hands, written by Sherwood Anderson as well, was very similar. Both of these stories were centered around one specific main character who spent most of their life unhappy and depressed. Wing Biddlebaum, which was the main character in the story Hands, spent most of his life blaming himself as a result of being wrongfully accused of touching schoolboys. Because of this, he faced a great deal of internal conflict, and even after moving out of town. He spent much of his time alone, much like Elsie did in The New Englander. One major similarity between these two stories was that both of the main characters felt trapped in the lifestyles that they were given, and they wanted to escape this imprisoned feeling. This story also relates to the story read in class, written by James Baldwin, called Sonny's Blues. This story also dealt with internal conflict and the feeling of being trapped in an unwanted life. For Sonny, the main character, the only thing that made him feel better and free from pain was using heroin and playing music, although he so badly wanted to escape his addiction with heroin. Creating a new life for themselves was the main focus of both Sonny and Elsie in these two stories. Another similarity between these two stories was that they both used symbolism to show what the characters were experiencing throughout the stories. In conclusion, I believe that the story The New Englander was very interesting and helped to show what kind of author Sherwood Anderson really was. Throughout this story and others, it's clear to see that maybe he himself had to deal with internal conflict throughout his life. I would recommend the story to others because it definitely evokes strong emotion in the reader and helps the reader to understand the suffering that the main character is experiencing. Although it may be hard to understand why Elsie was depressed throughout the story, it was known that she dealt with overthinking, which led her to being depressed and having an unhappy life. The quote that really stuck out to me that kind of showed what the story was all about read, "Elsie stood perfectly still, also frightened, not by the presence of the bird, but the presence of life." This just showed how trapped Elsie really felt in the life that she was given, and it gave me as a reader a good sense of what she was going through. Giving readers a strong feeling of emotion can be very important in order for them to understand the characters. I really enjoyed how straightforward this story was, and it did not leave me wondering about many things. For this reason, I believe this story is a great short story, and I would recommend it to many people. Thank you and have a great day.